can really just stab anything. Yeah. Today we're making a machete. Let's do it. So, I went into Primitier with a simple plan. I wanted to make myself a machete. That was the plan, of course. Nothing in this game ever really goes exactly as planned, and this project took a pretty big turn. Let me show you. You always have to start with the basics. Chopping wood and making a block for the furnace. Getting some iron melting, pretty standard. But if you don't do this right, the whole thing flops before it even starts. My first idea was a wooden handle. It looked fine until I held it up and realized I just made an oversized kitchen knife. So I switched over to hematite. It's heavier, looks way tougher, and honestly feels more like the kind of thing you'd want to swing at a tree, already an improvement. This is where I pulled a little trick. I stuck a flat sheet of metal on the end of a stick and started slamming it against the other sheet. Instead of bending or breaking, it just shears off into little pieces. It feels janky, but man, it worked. I tried to make a needle point out of one piece, and that did not work, so I went back to chopping it down into smaller blades and stacking them together into something that actually resembles a machete. I put a hand stopper on it at first, but it looked more like a sword than a machete, which wasn't really what I wanted, so I cut that off and swapped it for a smaller chunk of hematite instead. Now it was actually starting to look mean.
There we go.
Alright, time for a test. Alright, let's see it. Ooh. Oh, that's so fun. I took it to the tree, gave it a swing, and it worked, but something fell off. It was short, heavy on one end, and kind of clunky. I wasn't done yet. At this point, I decided to start experimenting. Like, what if I put the blade further up on a longer shaft, basically making it into a spear? Well, it's not yet finished, but it is a prototype, so I start by attaching the blade higher up on a long pole. Here's the practical bit. At first, it looked a little bit too sleek and it wasn't quite heavy enough on the end, so I added a little chunk of hematite there to make it look better and work better. The first throws were ugly. It was too nose heavy and it just kind of plunged. Next, a small back handle. I stuck a short chunk of hematite at the butt so I could palm it for leverage. That gives you control on throws and when you're using it in melee. You can choke up or choke back depending on the move. The next thing I decided to do was actually go and test it out on a moving target. And with enough trial and error, I was actually able to hit the slime. I did it. Oh. So I think the stabbing is this thing's strong suit. And that it does very well. Well, let's test out this thing's capabilities. Oh, that actually didn't do too much damage, but I guess I didn't really swing it. That's actually really effective and kind of satisfying, you know? But can I throw it like that? Oh, it does! It throws perfectly like that. Alright, so now that there's that piece right there, it gives me more area to grab. And then when I go to throw it, I have to throw it like that. Before I was throwing it like that, but you gotta throw it like this. And see, it kind of goes straight. And I'll have to stand back a little bit for this to make it fair. Shoot. Whoa. Yeah, let's go. So yeah, that's a spear. Full on. Let's go see what it can do to the big tree. We're gonna see. Oh, I dealt damage. No way. Look at that. It has a damage marker, meaning I damaged it. Cool. Poke. Yeah, you can really just stab anything. Does it in one hit. Cool. Doesn't even know it's cut yet. Alright, well that's the end of this video. I know it's a pretty short one, but if you'd like to see more of it, just let me know in the comments.